Hi, this is part 3 of my blog. For those of you that might have just sort of started looking at this one, my name's Debbie. I'm 24 years of age and I am currently in the workup process to be a live kidney donor for my mum. So obviously part 1 sort of said the reason why I'm here, why I'm doing this. Part 2 was about the main testing day that I had to go through. And this bit now is basically where we're at today. Today being the 13th of September. We are 8 days away from the surgery itself, so we're booked in for Thursday the 22nd of September. So I've been to the hospital today with my mum. We had to have the cross-match bloods done again, just to check the antibodies and resistance, make sure the levels are okay, ready for the donation. And we had to have some MRSA swabs done. So I'm going back tomorrow for an X-ray and some contrast dye to be injected. And then from that, it's basically a case of wait till next week. So the operation is scheduled for the Thursday. I got informed today we have to go in on the Wednesday and we'll be in overnight the day before. So we get there for about 10:30 on the Wednesday morning. We go through most of the routine checks again, so that's blood works, urine, blood pressure, ECG and X-rays. They all get sent off obviously quite pronto with the operation coming up. We then meet with the professor. Well, our professor is carrying out the surgery, and the team who's going to be doing that for us. They go through the whole process again, the surgery itself, what to expect, and so on. And then from there, apparently we've got a couple of hours where we can go out and about if you want to go and grab something to eat before coming back to the hospital for the evening. We are nil by mouth from midnight, but I'll be put on a drip from that night to keep me hydrated so that the kidney's in the best possible condition, ready for the morning. Now, the morning itself, apparently I'll be getting up, I'll be waking up about 6:30. We'll get prepped and have sort of your stockings put on to stop blood clots and so on. And then we'll go down to theatre for about 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm expected to be down there for about 2 hours, all being well, touch wood. And then I will come up and go into recovery. They will prep my kidney, it'll be on ice for a while, and then my mum will go down about 12:30, 1 o'clock, and again hers is I think around 2.5 to 3 hours, slightly longer. The surgery itself, the process doesn't so much bother me. I'm not a vain person. I have a couple of scars. Well, at least I can say I've done something in my life. What's a few scars for my mum to be well? That's nothing at all. It's taken a lot to get to this point. I started this process very overweight, just over 16 stone. Part of the main thing to do the actual surgery is that you have to have a BMI of 30 or under, generally speaking. They won't, if you're over 35 in a BMI, they will not operate, simple as that. I started this process at 32.1, I'm now 30.8, so it doesn't sound like a lot, to have come down, but that in terms of the actual weight loss, to bring it down those couple of points is quite a bit of weight loss. So I'm now around sort of 14.5 stone, which is just over what I wanted to be, but they're still willing to go ahead with the surgery. So, for somebody who's been a yo-yo dieter for the past 10 years, since I was 14, you name it, I've tried it, and I've never managed to stick with it or properly lose any, a vast amount of weight. This has definitely been the motivation that I needed to give myself a kick at the backside. And it's not just for the surgery, I've got to keep this going now afterwards, because let's face it, I'm going to have one kidney that's fighting to do everything for me. And if I put on weight, it can hinder the kidney, and I can get my one remaining kidney and give me problems. So it's in my best interest that I keep going as I have been doing, and I'm hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll be able to do that, because it's not been easy still, even with a motivation such as my mum. It's still been a hard task trying to sort of eat right and exercise. I'm only human at the end of the day, and I've done my best, and I've done what I can so far, so I am quite proud of that in that respect. So from Saturday, 5 days before the operation, I have been given this lovely sterile body wash thing that I've got to start using. I've got to use that every day when I go in the shower. Use that first, leave it on for about 20 seconds, and then use my normal sort of shower gel afterwards. And that's just to minimise any build-up of bacteria, to make sure that when it comes around to the surgery, I'm as clean as possible, basically. My mum's got to do the same, so we both start ours on Saturday, this coming Saturday. From my side, the only other things I really had to do, I had to stop taking a contraceptive pill well, at the end of August, so I've been off it for about 5 weeks now. But you can't have it in your system for at least 6 weeks before the surgery, because it can thin your blood. So if you are on any form of contraception pill, you will be made to come off that beforehand. The after effects, the only thing I shouldn't take afterwards will be ibuprofen tablets, because they can again thin your blood, I think it is, and they have reactions, and they can also cause scarring to your kidneys as well. So again, I don't want to do that if I've only got one left, so I won't be able to have that. Other than that, I'll probably just become a pretty cheap date. You know, alcohol levels will be greater with one kidney. I won't be able to control it as much, so get drunk quicker. You know, probably a plus side to this. But other than that, there's really no effect on my life. I'll have a yearly checkup, which again is for me, it's a bonus. It's like a well-woman check, I suppose. And you know, if there is anything wrong with me, they'll pick up on it sooner because I am having regular checks. Part of this process also meant I had to have a smear test a year earlier than the standard due at 25 for most women. Again, just one of those things you have to do. So I've had all those bits and pieces done, and we are good to go for Thursday next week. The operation itself, it doesn't, at the minute it's not bothering me. I'm sure next week it will be a bit more real, and I'm sure I'll have a few anxieties, but that's normal. It's major surgery I'm putting myself through that I don't technically need, but I'm doing it for the right reasons. And so the scars don't bother me whatsoever. I will have 4 sort of prong scars from where the actual instruments go in. So 2 are sort of the instruments that you use to remove the kidney. 1 will be the camera so they can see what they're doing, and 1 will be the one to blow me up with carbon dioxide. That's the right one. Carbon dioxide, so that obviously it blows up the cavity, the wall, the walls of your stomach, so they've actually got room to work and do what they need to do. And then there will be about, I think, 4 to 5 centimetres, I think, just across the top of my bikini line, so a bit like the cesarean mark. So we're talking about, about that. It's not too big. And they'll actually sort of pull the kidney out of that, but it'll be discreet and disguised. So I'm really not bothered about those sides. I think from now, there's not really a lot more I can say on this side of things. This is now, the next stage will be just before the operation and just after. I know I'm not going to be able to drive for a couple of weeks and lift and bits and pieces, but I've got a fantastic family and a great support network, and I've got everything in place for, being looked after afterwards. I don't live at home, I live by myself, so my mum will be with my dad at their home, and I've told him and her, it's that she needs to be focused on and make sure that she's resting up and not worrying about me. As far as I'm concerned, as soon as I'm back up from that theatre, that's me out the way. She just needs to focus on herself. And I know she's my mum, and I know she'll worry, and I can't stop that. But as much as she possibly can, I just wanted to focus and this to be about her. The amount of people that keep coming up to me and saying, "Oh, you're amazing, you're a hero." I don't see it like that. I see it that's my mum. She needs help, and I will do anything I can. If I could give her 2 kidneys, I would do, but I still need 1. So, anything I can do to help her and for her to get better as such, then it's not even a question I've got to ask myself. I'd have been there regardless to do this for her. So that's pretty much where I am. 8 days to go. Feeling pretty confident, pretty happy, and let's see how things go, I suppose. Fingers crossed I will be back with an update just to let you know how things have gone. And like I say, hopefully someone, if you're listening to this and watching this, then you can get some useful information out of it, and just to see, again, just a true perspective of what you're going through, because that's one thing I would like to see more of myself in this process, is to really listen to some true experiences, how people have felt, what they've actually, the real nitty gritty. I think the best way to deal with these things is to deal with them head on and really know what you're letting yourself in for. And I've just tried to go into this with my eyes open, so hopefully you can too.